5 years after my breakup with Ethan, we saw each other again at a friend's wedding. The moment our eyes met, we both looked away, pretending we were complete strangers. Later at the reception, my friend Jessica leaned on my shoulder, a little drunk. She pointed to Ethan across the room and whispered, "Sarah, did you hear? All the girls he dated after you looked a little bit like you. Everyone said they were just substitutes, but this new one, Chloe, is completely different. They've been together the longest, and her personality is the total opposite of yours." Jessica swirled her champagne glass and sighed. "Looked like he's serious this time." I knew she was testing me, trying to see if I had any regrets, but I just shrugged. Honestly, whether Ethan was serious or not had nothing to do with me anymore. I was back in New York to get married. As I was leaving the ballroom, a group of friends insisted the night wasn't over. Before I could say no, someone pushed Ethan right in front of me. "Hey, Ethan, Sarah flew all the way from Europe. You better take good care of her tonight, you hear?" The guy said with a suggestive wink. Ethan didn't say anything, but he naturally took my suitcase from my hand. I glanced at my watch. It was still a little while before I had to meet my ride, so I nodded and got in his car. I sat in the passenger seat. Ethan and Chloe sat in the back. As soon as we were on the highway, a whiny voice came from the back seat. "Ethan, you haven't even introduced me to her. I thought you two didn't know each other." I almost had her kicked out of the wedding. She was talking to Ethan, but I could see her in the rearview mirror. Her eyes, staring at me, were full of challenge. Ethan's gaze lingered on me for a moment. Before he could speak, I turned around. "Hi, I'm Sarah. Ethan and I were in college together." "Sarah?" Chloe suddenly let out a sharp laugh. "Stop pretending. The entire social circle knows you're Ethan's ex-girlfriend, but don't worry," she continued. "I'm not the petty type. I won't get upset over the past." Then, she wrapped her arm around Ethan's and planted a hard kiss on his cheek, as if she were staking her claim. Throughout the drive, Chloe never stopped talking, and Ethan, who was always quiet and reserved, patiently answered every single one of her questions. "Are we going to have to drink more later? I'm such a lightweight. What if I get drunk?" "I won't let you get drunk. I'll take you home. Today's wedding was so beautiful. I'm so jealous of the bride. When we get married, I want the whole of Central Park covered in roses, and one of those giant balloon arches." "Okay. The wedding will be whatever you want." I rolled my window all the way down, letting the cold wind blow away the suffocatingly sweet air in the car. When we finally got to the club, I had just stepped out of the car when I saw Ethan expertly lift Chloe out. His arm stiffened for a second when he caught my eye. Chloe snuggled in his arms, smiling shyly. "I'm not used to wearing heels this high. Ethan's afraid I'll twist my ankle, so he always carries me out of the car." I gave a polite nod. "Ethan is so sweet to you." As soon as we entered the private room, someone handed us a row of shots. "Hey, you're late." "Rules are rules. 3 shots each." I had just taken my glass when Ethan downed the other 2 in quick succession. "Chloe can't hold her liquor. I'll drink yours for her." The room erupted in cheers, but most of the playful glances were aimed at me. I threw back my own shot. As I reached for another, Chloe suddenly blocked my hand. "Hey, guys, don't be so hard on Sarah. She's all alone tonight. Who's going to take her back to her hotel if she gets wasted?" I shot her a cold look, moved her hand, and picked up another glass. "Thanks for your concern. But I'm not alone." My public rejection made Chloe's face twist. The room fell silent. All eyes that had been watching the drama now shifted to Ethan. Even in the dim light, I could see his knuckles turn white as he gripped his empty glass, like he was about to shatter it. After a few seconds, he raised an eyebrow, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Oh yeah? Then why isn't your boyfriend here tonight? He'll be here at midnight." The atmosphere grew even stranger. Jessica quickly held up a deck of cards to break the tension. All right. The rule tonight is nobody goes home sober. Let's play a game. Truth or dare." Chloe tugged on Ethan's sleeve, feigning distress. "But I really can't drink. This is just mean." Ethan patiently stroked her hair, comforting her. "Don't worry. I'll drink for you, but I don't want you to drink that much." She pouted, her eyes darted around and landed on me. "Sarah, you seem to be handling your liquor pretty well just now. You must be a good drinker. Why don't you drink for me?" Someone frowned and said to Ethan, "Man, get a handle on your girlfriend. She's going too far." "She's the one who handles me," Ethan said flatly. He then actually pushed a glass in front of me. "Your tolerance is pretty good. How about we each drink half for Chloe?" I stood frozen, my fingertips starting to tremble. Back when Ethan and I first started our company, he wasn't the sought-after tech CEO he was now. We were crammed into a damn basement apartment. Praying the winter blizzards wouldn't be too bad, so our pipes wouldn't freeze. We lived like that for 2 years before we finally scraped together enough to launch our startup. At business dinners, investors would always try to single me out. "Miss Sarah seems to handle her drink well. How about you finish this one?" But every single time, before I could even touch the glass, Ethan would grab it first. "Sarah is my business partner, and more importantly, my girlfriend. We'll split this." Every time, he would drink the glass meant for me, and he'd end up in the ER with stomach bleeding. "Sarah," he promised me, "I'll never let you get drunk. I'll give you a good life, and you'll never have to touch a drop of alcohol again." Remembering that, I glanced at the man Ethan had become and took 2 steps back. "Ethan, Chloe is your girlfriend. Not mine. After all these years, don't you have the ability to protect your own girlfriend anymore?" My response made the room painfully awkward. Chloe sniffled, tears welling up in her eyes. "Sarah, I know you're still bitter that Ethan dumped you, but you don't have to take it out on us like this." A collective gasp went through the room. Jessica shot Chloe a glare and defended me. "What's this about being dumped? Grown-up breakups are complicated. Let's not drag up the past." I let out a small laugh. "It wasn't complicated. We were just young and impulsive. Why keep bringing it up? If you're so bothered by it, Miss Chloe, maybe you and Ethan should go home and talk it over." Chloe probably didn't know that I had a reputation in our circle for not being messed with. "If you leave me alone, I'll treat you like air. But if you piss me off, I will make you regret it." Chloe bit her lip, tears streaming down her face. But when she saw Ethan just standing there with a cold expression, she stubbornly wiped them away. "Fine. I won't drink. I'll be the referee." The drama finally subsided. No one wanted to ruin the mood any further. Chloe picked up an empty bottle from the table. "Whoever the bottle points to has to choose truth." The bottle spun, eventually stopping right in front of me. A flicker of triumph crossed Chloe's face. "Sarah, are you really back in town just for the wedding? Or is there another reason?" I could feel Ethan's eyes glued to me. I casually picked up my glass and took a sip. "I'm back to get married." Everyone's eyes darted between me and Ethan. Chloe tugged on Ethan's arm. "Oh, my. Sarah's getting married? Does that mean she can't be our bridesmaid?" "Doesn't matter," Ethan replied dismissively, but his eyes never left my face. I put down my glass and replied to a text on my phone before speaking. "Even if I wasn't getting married, I have no interest in being my ex's bridesmaid." Chloe shot me a dirty look and spun the bottle again. "Since everyone's supposed to get drunk, this time, whoever it lands on has to chuck the 3 beers on the table." The moment Chloe's finger pointed at the bottle, it stopped right between me and Ethan. "How do we call this one? Why don't you 2 split it?" Jessica teased, then whispered in my ear, "You know, I think there's still a chance for you and Ethan. You came back for him, didn't you?" The jet lag and the alcohol were making my head spin. I rubbed my temples. "No. I'm really back to get married." Jessica flicked her tongue, clearly not believing me. I didn't want to explain anymore. Just as I was about to pick up a beer to split with Ethan, Chloe blocked my hand. "Sarah, it's not that I'm targeting you, but I really don't like my boyfriend sharing a drink with another woman. Let's just spin again." She put extra emphasis on the word boyfriend, as if it were a warning. "What's the big deal? They're pouring it into separate glasses. It's not like they're indirectly kissing." Jessica was finally losing her patience with Chloe's constant provocations. "If you're so worried about your boyfriend, maybe you should just keep Ethan locked up at home on a leash." Chloe immediately put on an innocent act, looking pitifully at Ethan. "I was just trying to make sure everyone was having a good time." Ethan's brow furrowed slightly, but he went along with her. "Whatever you say." The bottle spun again, stopping dead in front of me. Without hesitation, I picked up the beers and chugged all 3. The game continued. I don't know what trick Chloe was pulling, but every single round, the bottle landed on me. My head was already foggy from all the alcohol. Suddenly, Ethan reached out and grabbed my hand as I was reaching for another glass. The coldness of his touch shocked me back to my senses. That's enough for tonight. Chloe glared at me, muttering unhappily, but this round isn't even over. How about this, then? No more drinking. Sarah can just do another truth, she suggested. I pulled my hand back and checked the time. 10 minutes until midnight. Fine. A calculating look flashed in Chloe's eyes. She quickly pulled out her phone, opened a photo, and held it in front of my face. Sarah, in that famous scandal of yours a few years back, just how many male leads were there? Seeing the familiar photo, my body began to tremble uncontrollably. That dark past felt like it was happening all over again. It was during a critical period when Eason's and my company was about to go public at a high-profile party. While Eason stepped out to take a call, someone drank my champagne. When I realized something was wrong, I frantically smashed my glass. The pain of the shards digging into my palm brought me a sliver of clarity. I stumbled out of the ballroom to find Eason, but the heat and dizziness were overwhelming. I didn't even make it to the elevator. Desperate, I used a piece of glass to cut my wrist, trying to stay awake as I crawled toward the restroom. I finally collapsed in relief after locking the door behind me. When I woke up, it was the next day. I rushed back to our apartment to find that Eason had been looking for me all night. Before I could explain, a series of cleverly angled photos were posted all over social media. They were maliciously edited, with captions designed to incite rage. Overnight, the entire internet was crucifying me. Eason held me tight. Don't be afraid. No matter what happens, I'll never be ashamed of you. I tried to explain that nothing happened that night, but wave after wave of online attacks tied me to the word disgrace. Anonymous accounts popped up, claiming to know me, saying I was always promiscuous. They said our company only got funding because I slept my way to the top. Men claiming to be in the photos pointed fingers at me, saying I was the one who seduced them. Our company's stock plummeted. Investors pulled out. The IPO became a pipe dream. During that time, I desperately tried to prove my innocence, but no one believed me. Even Eason, the one person who swore he'd always believe me, grew impatient under the pressure from the board and the threat of bankruptcy. Many people say we broke up because of the scandal, but only he and I know the truth. We were just letting each other go. I didn't want to drag down his career anymore, and he didn't want me to suffer endless humiliation in that circle. 5 years had passed. The memory had finally started to fade, only to be dragged back into the light by Chloe. Eason's face darkened instantly. Just as he reached for Chloe's phone, I swung my hand and slapped her hard across the face. I don't know how you got these slanderous photos, but do you have any idea of the consequences for maliciously spreading false information and violating someone's privacy? I was once so depressed by this that I wanted to die. But now, I wouldn't feel sad, and I certainly wouldn't scramble to defend myself over something that never happened. Chloe hadn't expected me to hit her. She clutched her face and grabbed Eason's arm. Eason, it was just a game. Sarah, before she could finish, I turned to leave. I have to go. You all can continue with your pathetic games. I had just reached the door when Eason blocked my path. Chloe was just being childish and playing around. Don't take it so seriously, you slapped her. Let's call it even. I raised an eyebrow and sneered, feeling like I was looking at a complete stranger. I've always been the type to hold a grudge. As I tried to walk past him, Eason grabbed my arm. Where are you staying? I'll take you. I yanked my arm away, annoyed. Before I could say anything, I was pulled into a warm, familiar embrace, smelling the comforting scent of cedarwood cologne. A deep, magnetic voice spoke from behind me. My fiancé, of course, is staying with me.